What's good, guys? We back again with the Real Software Podcast. We finna get into this Shanquella Robinson case once again. I really don't like how when something happened to a black woman or a black girl outside of the United States or in Mexico, the United States don't really give a fuck about the case. They treat it as if like, hey, we gonna do as much as we can, but we really ain't trying to solve this shit. So hit that like button, comment, subscribe, man. We finna get into the Shanquella Robinson video. It's the Real Software Podcast. Let's get into it.
The family of Shanquella Robinson is demanding answers after the Justice Department revealed it won't bring charges in her mysterious death. Robinson died while vacationing in Mexico after she was shown on video being beaten in a hotel room. Janae Norman has the latest.
Nearly 6 months after her mysterious death at a Mexican resort, the family of Shanquella Robinson reigniting their demand for answers.
We're disappointed, but we're not deterred.
In a statement Wednesday, U.S. authorities announcing they would not pursue charges. The DOJ saying, based on the results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials, the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution, adding it is important to reassure the public that experienced federal agents and seasoned prosecutors extensively reviewed the available evidence and have concluded that federal charges cannot be pursued.
Everything that was determined by the Mexican government that was included in the investigation would have been turned over to the U.S. government. So there is potentially information that we're not aware of that would have also weakened this particular case.
The Attorney General's office in Baja California Sur telling ABC News they have no comment on the DOJ's decision and that their investigation remains open. The 25-year-old North Carolina native was on vacation in Mexico with 6 people last October when she died within 24 hours after arriving. Her mother says they told her Shanquella died of alcohol poisoning. Days later, video too graphic to show here surfaced, going viral on social media, showing Robinson being attacked and beaten by a woman in the villa where the group stayed, leading to public outcries for justice.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged with a crime.
Mexican police initially saying she died of cardiac arrest, but her autopsy from Mexico later showing Shanquella's death the result of a severe spinal cord injury and a broken neck, leading authorities there to issue an arrest warrant for a suspect unidentified stateside. However, an autopsy done in the U.S. showing brain swelling and ruling her cause of death inconclusive was completed after her body was embalmed. The family's attorney saying those discrepancies were caused by delays.
So basically, if you don't understand what they just said, they basically did the test after they embalmed her. So basically, after you embalm somebody, you basically just got rid of all the evidence to say that somebody did something to them, but you cannot hide broken bones. You can't hide a broken neck or a hurt spine, once you pass away. So, that's basically what they was trying to say in that part of the video, guys, if you don't really know. So, we go finish watching the video. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. It's the Real Software Podcast.
If it had been taken serious from the very beginning, there would have been time to take an immediate autopsy.
And we thank Janae Norman for that reporting. And the attorney for Shanquella Robinson's family, Sue Ann Robinson, joins me now live for more on this. Thank you so much for taking the time today to be with us.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Sue Ann, in Janae's reporting, we heard you say, we're disappointed but not deterred by the Justice Department's decision not to pursue charges in this case. Were you shocked or surprised by the department's decision, especially given the fact that we all saw that terrible viral video of Shanquella being beaten?
Right, absolutely. There's photographic evidence of a crime occurring against a U.S. citizen, and there's no charges being filed. So that's why, we are disappointed. We are disheartened. It is very sad to sit there and read and listen, sit in a meeting and listen to the U.S. attorney say they're not going to bring charges for something that we all saw with our own eyes, but we're not giving up on the case. We are disappointed, but we're not deterred.
You've essentially said, and we saw there in that piece, that people can't go to Mexico and just operate with impunity. So, Ann, the department based its decision, though, on the results of an autopsy, which was significantly different from the one that was conducted in Mexico. What do you believe contributed to those discrepancies, and how much of an impact do you think that may have on the overall investigation?
I think that they're looking to an autopsy and hanging their hat on an autopsy that they have admitted was compromised, right? They've admitted that their autopsy was completed after the body had already been embalmed, and therefore they didn't have access to certain organs. They couldn't do toxicology, things that would be critical to an investigation overall, in a case where there's an allegation that there was alcohol poisoning, but then there's a video surfacing showing a beating. And so their actual autopsy was compromised, admittedly, but they're hanging their hat on that same autopsy to say this is why we're not going forward with charges.
And obviously our thoughts are with this family, Sue Ann, and the family has had this discouraging news, but they say there is still hope. There's a chance for justice in Mexico. Mexican prosecutors have issued an arrest warrant in this case. We don't know who that suspect is. So what does justice look like for this family? And do you believe that we could see charges, actually pursued in Mexico?
I think justice has always looked like for this family the same, which is that the individuals responsible for the death of Shanquilla, that demonstrated consciousness of guilt by saying that this was alcohol poisoning, but then never revealing the fact that there was actual physical altercation, that those people be held accountable for what happened to their daughter. That's what it looks like. Whether it was going to be in the United States or whether it was going to be in Mexico, I don't think the family really has a desire. Either way, I think the point is that whoever killed their daughter should be held accountable.
And what is the next step in your mind? What's the next step the family wants to see?
The next step is that we still are calling for a high level of diplomatic intervention, because intervention is required from the Department of State, from the Department of International Affairs, in order to expedite and prioritize the extradition. The Attorney General in Baja Sur, which I went on a fact-finding mission to Mexico and spoke to them directly, they're saying that they've completed their investigation and submitted all their documentation for extradition. So it's up to the U.S. authorities now, if they're declining charges and saying their case is closed, for them to open the doors and permit Mexico to move forward with the extradition process. And that's what we're calling for now. And we're prepared to rally in D.C. on the 200th day after Shanquilla's death if nothing is being done, if it's still not being prioritized.
It is hard to believe it has been 200 days, and we are just thinking of this family. Sue Ann Robinson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, guys, if you haven't seen the video of the Shanquilla Robinson fight, allegedly, this is what they're saying. They're saying that the person that fought her was not a woman, but a trans. I'm not saying anything going against the gay community, I know how you guys are. But that's what the story really is that she fought there was a trans person that she was fighting, was not a female. So, I'm going to show you guys the video. But if you do not want to watch the video, viewer discretion advised. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We finna get into this video, man. It's a very sad video, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Quilla, can you at least fight back?
No. What's your
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up. I'm shit.
So, as you can hear the licks that she's throwing at this girl's head. Once he slays her down, that could have been a broken neck right there. When she was still sitting on the ground after she got hit a couple of times, she could have been hurt, But the most important part is you gotta be mindful of who you go on trips with. You gotta be mindful of who you choose as your friends, because if you go out of town, I expect us to protect each other like we would our own brother and sister. I don't expect nobody to get hurt. That's not how it's supposed to go. We supposed to protect each other and not put each other in harm's way. But there is a rumor going around that that was a trans that she was fighting, and it wasn't really a female. So that could have been part of the problem as well. But as I look at this girl right here, it doesn't seem to me that she's a violent person. She probably had a little attitude or something where they was fussing about, had a disagreement, but that's no reason to put your hands on your friend damn near. Well, you did kill her, but god damn, bro. Mexico done went and did the autopsy already, so they fucked it up for the United States. So basically, they went ahead and did a test fast enough where it wasn't any evidence. And then when they went ahead and did a death certificate, it said she had a broken neck, and her spine was actually kind of messed up a little bit. So think about that, guys, when you're really looking into this case. If this right here was a YT girl or white, I want to say that it would be more charges going on here. It would be more of an uproar. Because if that was a white girl getting her ass beat in that room by allegedly a trans man, think about the uproar that we would fucking have. It wouldn't even be about the rainbow or the gay community at that point. It would only be about getting those dudes in jail, getting those women in jail that were there on the trip, and locking their ass up forever. It wouldn't be none of this, if it happened or if they did, or we have to go back and look at the evidence. The evidence was right in our face, guys. When they put their hands on the girl, you get what I'm saying? She did not return. The evidence was right in our face. So it's a lot of profiling and shit going on with the United States. Think about it, bro. When think of it like this: when a black American, you know, goes and shoot up the neighborhood, well, they make him look like a thug. But when a white American goes and shoot up, 8 people in a grocery store, or go and shoot up kids inside of a school, what they try to make them seem like they is crazy. See what the double standard is? They try to make us look like thugs while they do the same shit we do, and they try to call themselves crazy. So man, we gonna get back into this situation once again, man.